Welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria. And just tonight, there is a news that is getting to us at the moment that the Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara, has officially defected from the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, that's the ruling APC. Yesterday we saw Governor Fubara in a closed-door meeting, 45 minutes meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he was discussing with the governor, with the president rather. And still yesterday we saw another governor, Governor Nwaifuru, who also governor of Enugu State, also joined and later met with the president in the evening, as they also had closed-door discussion. At the end of that meeting, Fubara didn't talk to reporters at the State House. He said he came to meet the president, and what he said was that without the president, he would not be governor. He is glad of the president and is ready to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But just today and tonight on the program this evening, we're bringing to you information that the governor of Rivers State has officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Remember that just some days ago, some House of Representative members in Rivers State have also defected from the PDP to the APC. What is happening? This is what we're going to be looking at tonight on the program, as we also look at international politics, the U.S. delegation that came to Nigeria for some fact-finding mission. My name is Ubong Usoro, and I'm welcoming you to the program Big Talk. We'll come back after this break as we get straight into the discussion for tonight. Do stay with us. Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
a numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Festify is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time, where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
world leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
Talk Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
A very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
a numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Festify is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time, where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
world leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports.
Welcome back to the program. Tonight on the program, we will be looking at national politics. Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, has officially at this moment joined the APC. Let me just give you a quick background as to who Fubara is and what happened, right? Fubara served in the finance arms of the Rivers State Civil Service. He rose in 2022. Fubara won the elections of the People's Democratic Party for the governorship of Rivers State. He was endorsed by the then governor of the public affairs analyst. Thank you so much, Uncle Jide, as I like calling you, for joining the program tonight. It has been a lot. As the only governor in this particular dispensation that has been suspended, right? And now we are seeing him going to the APC. Did you see this coming?
Of course, I saw it coming. I wasn't just sure at what time this will happen, but definitely is not the last governor in the South to join the APC. I saw it coming when he didn't show up in Ibadan for the PDP convention. I saw it coming when he has distanced himself from the pro and anti Kabiru Turaki-led National Working Committee. He has been very aloof. He has been very he has not been active in the PDP's camp for some time, even after his suspension was lifted. So I knew, and people have already counted that Fubara would join APC. It's just a matter of time. And given what happened a few days ago, last week, when the 16 or is it 17 member of the Rivers State House of Assembly decided to join the APC, I knew they were just jumping the gun. It's going to be a matter of time before the governor will also join. And don't forget that the State House of Assembly has already passed a resolution endorsing President Bola Tinubu for 2027. And as you said in your background, the governor had also been to see the president recently. No one is very sure of what was discussed, but suffice to say that perhaps at that time, they had discussed the issue of his defection. So people have said that the only governors, that there are just about 5 governors left in PDP. The Zamfara governor will not defect, but Adamawa and who else? The entire South now and Southeast
Plateau State government
is now APC in the South, and 3 out of 5 in the Southeast are also APC with the defection of Governor Peter Amba. So it's not totally surprising to me, to put it succinctly. Well,
okay, so makers or 4 that supported Governor Fubara. And at the time, President Tinubu came in, and a lot of Nigerians said the president interfered in our democracy. We're not supposed to have the president come to interfere, and all of, a lot of narrative was pushed. But what Fubara said yesterday was that I am grateful that President Tinubu intervened because I am governor today because of that intervention. What do you think about that intervention in retrospection? When you look at what the president did by giving that 6-month suspension at that time?
Incidentally, I faulted the president on that state of emergency because I am of the opinion that the president overreached himself by suspending 2 out of 3 arms of government. And these are the elected arms of government, which the Supreme Fubara has usurped the role of the Legislative Assembly by working with only 4 out of 32 status of assembly members. Don't forget, one resigned. The one that was made chief of staff resigned. One died. I'm not sure INEC has even conducted by-election into that vacant position. Maybe they did in August 16. Taking far longer time than 6 months. Don't forget what happened in Oyo State when the Rashidi Ladoja, then governor between 2003 and 2007 in Oyo State, was impeached by the State House of Assembly loyal to the strong man of Ibadan politics, Alhaji Lamide Adedibu. It took a whole of 11 months. Ladoja's impeachment had already been held, and he has lost the opportunity to recontest under PDP. And he went to a court party. Unfortunately, he could not defeat the PDP candidate, who happens to be his former deputy governor and who took over the reign of office while he was not there. But still, so that's where it ends. And for Fubara, the fact that an impeachment notice has been served on him by the Rivers State House of Assembly, the state of emergency kind of nullified the whole impeachment process, and it was one of the terms and conditions for reinstatement that he would not be impeached. So to that extent, he possibly was right. But unfortunately, we've not had court making a definitive pronouncement on the powers of the president to suspend an elected representative of the people. Don't forget, if I'm to extrapolate, the court has made several pronouncements that even while it is true that the Senate or House of Reps can suspend their members, it should not be for more than, I think, 14 days. That 6 months is far outrageous. Even in the case of Natasha, I think that pronouncement was made by one of the, I think, the lower courts. So if the court frowns at suspending a legislative member, how can the same court now say it's within the powers of the president to suspend an elected governor? I think it's overrated, because all the impeachment I've known, the impeachment of former governor of Adamawa, Murtala Nyako, was overturned by the court. Several impeachments of deputy governors were overturned by the court. The case of impeachment of Ayo Fayose and Joshua Dariye, the court could not make pronouncement because by the time they went through the court processes, in 6 months, they have been reinstated. But I think the Supreme Court needs to make a definitive pronouncement. Is it right for an elected president to have suspended elected legislative assembly members and elected governor? My own position, as at the time I wrote about this in my column, was that the president did not exhaust all the avenue of reconciliation. He met with them in 2023 December, and that was where it ends. Ask elders of Rivers State to go and mediate. They never did a good job. Peter Odili, former governor, and some other former governors took side, and that did not help with reconciliation. But I recall that when the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, when he was suspended, or when he was impeached or removed, because there is no impeachment for a legislature, when he was removed by his brother lawmakers, the president intervened, called all the 40 members to Abuja, mediate. First, he sent an emissary to mediate. After that, he called the 40 member to Abuja, had a tete-a-tete with them, and they sheathed their sword and allowed Obasa to come back. If the president had also tried again to mediate, this time in a closed-door meeting with Nyesom Wike, Fubara, and the lawmakers, no other external members, he could still have achieved what he achieved after 6 months. And that's my own take, that all avenue for reconciliation was not exhausted before the imposition of the 6-month state of emergency. Because at the end of the day, who profited by the state of emergency? You brought in somebody from Cross River State, what's it called? The sole administrator could not get budget to even fund his 6 months in power until around July or August. This was an impeachment. This was a suspension that took place in March. But the budget for Rivers State was not passed by the National Assembly until July. By the time the whole thing started, so effectively the sole administrator. So by and large, I think the president could post suspension if he had actually made more efforts to reconcile the warring faction rather than going the whole log.
All right, so a beautiful analysis. Let's look at the man in the center of the storm. His name may not be mentioned today very prominently, but we know that he's at the center because he appointed Fubara Accountant General. In fact, Fubara came into limelight during his tenure, serving as Accountant General. He went all the way to campaign. In fact, during the campaign of Governor Similaye Fubara at the time, Nyesom Wike was the one doing the speaking. Remember at the time the EFCC was speaking. Remember at the time the EFCC were looking for Fubara. And the man Nyesom Wike in this whole equation, he's still in PDP. Just on Sunday, he had a meeting with a faction, the members of the PDP that are loyal to him, and they are saying they are going to organize a state congress. They are saying that they are going to go ahead and do a convention. What is the role of the FCT minister in all of this? And are you saying
in politics? Politics is a game of interest, just like it's also a game of intrigues, treachery, betrayal. So if you are not ready for betrayal or treachery or manipulations, don't go into politics. So as to whether what Fubara had done will put him at cross purposes with the Minister of FCT, I don't think so. I recall that I watched his interview, even though he may be clever by heart, when he said that the 16 members that defected from APC, from PDP, purportedly from PDP to APC last week, did not tell him, did not confide in him before they did so. But that is within their right to do it. And so they have his full endorsement. So to that extent, I don't think he will be infuriated by the defection of his stooge, Fubara.
You use the word
let's
stooge.
also backtrack a bit.
You use the word
let's
stooge.
backtrack a bit. Stooge, a minion, a kind of somebody who beholds to, there is a godfather-godson relationship between Nyesom Wike and Fubara. So I may be right to use that word stooge. But the truth is, you have heard Fubara calling, Nyesom Wike calling Fubara on live TV, this boy. Fubara is 50-year-old. Wike is about 56 or 57 or thereabout. Wike is not up to 60 years of age. So how could, if not for the fact that he sees him as a minion of sort. But let's even leave that issue. The issue I want to point out before I forget is that when you look at the last local government election that was held in October, was it October or September? In Rivers State, out of 23 local governments, under the watch and supervision of Nyesom Wike, APC won 20 out of 23. Only 3 local government were won by PDP. Didn't you see that at that point, he had already shown his color as to where his next political tent will be pitched? If Nyesom Wike would gladly, willingly orchestrate APC winning 20 out of 23 local governments in Rivers, and also endorse the second defection, because there was a prior defection by these lawmakers in Rivers. Remember, they were said to have defected some 2 years ago in December, where in the full glare of the public, they said they are no longer member of PDP. And that was why Fubara decided that he was not going to be working with them because they have lost their seat at that time. And the whole rough fight that lasted for almost 2 years. But assuming that we forgot about that and we now talk about this last week defection, if their godfather in Abuja, Nyesom Wike, said he sees nothing wrong with the defection of 16 members of the assembly, including the speaker, deputy speaker, to APC, it tells you that even if it's just a phone conversation, he may have had with Fubara to also his moving to APC. In any event, I'm not sure that even if Fubara did not defect from PDP, it will work for Tinubu in 2027. I can say that with every authority at my disposal. Because even for governors like Governor Alex Otti of Abia, who is serving as LP governor, and Governor Chukwuma Soludo of All Progressive Grand Alliance in Anambra, both of them have not hidden their endorsement of President Bola Tinubu for 2027. So while Soludo and Otti may be in a different political camp, they have made it clear that they were going to work for the president in 2027. So whether Fubara leaves, Fubara may just have left PDP because he's unsure. He's most likely going to seek re-election. Actually, aligned with the Wike team, that the convention in Ibadan in November was not properly done and did not follow due process. As Court of First Instance have said, that convention should be put on hold until all the congresses are held across the states, and then they can hold it. So while that case is on appeal, nobody is sure at what point the case will get to the apex court, and that would be the final bus stop. So the challenge now is, if Fubara stays and decide to go and work with the Bala and Makede's team that have produced Turaki, Kabiru Turaki as the new national chairman, and the Supreme Court eventually ruled that due process was not followed in their emergence, and the time for nomination of candidates had expired, what will happen? That means PDP will not be able to field candidates. And this is December. Ubong, by February next year, take it to the bank. INEC will blow the whistle for 2027. Activities will start in earnest. So, and there is 150 days campaign period. So if the election will hold on in February 2027 and issues within PDP is not resolved early enough, that means that whoever stayed within that party is risking their nomination from being...
Before we go for our first break on the program tonight, I'd like to ask this question now. there's this belief, some persons, some commentators believe that the president will abandon Nyesom Wike, the minister of the FCT, and he comes with so much liability. His personality is causing the president more destruction politically than favor and even support. Maybe the president wants to work with Fubara and push out Nyesom Wike. Maybe this is a tactical move. Fubara, deliver River State to me, I'll work with you, and we'll fight a common enemy, which is Nyesom Wike. Are you seeing it in that direction? Is there, are you thinking that the president would discard Nyesom Wike and go ahead to work with Fubara?
I don't see it in that light. See, President Tinubu is a very smart politician. He knows politics more than he knows accounting, which is his primary what he studied in school and his career path. He knows politics. He understands politics. See, Fubara is a weak character. You can't count on Fubara. Fubara will be run out of the state by very strong characters when the chiefs are down. You don't know who the opposition will be bringing. Is it Peter Obi? Is it Atiku Abubakar? Is it somebody else? Rotimi Amaechi is in the race. So the president needs Nyesom Wike now, at least to win his re-election. If he is going to part ways with Nyesom Wike, I want to believe he will do that only when he has won his re-election. Then he may consider sacrificing Wike for the optics. And President Tinubu is not also an ingrate. Say what you want. I live and work in Abuja. Nyesom Wike is working. I don't like his politics. I've said this at different fora that I don't like his politics. But when it comes to delivery on infrastructural development, he's trying. Not just the Abuja city center, but even the rating, even higher than El-Rufai when he was FCT minister. In terms of infrastructural development, he's done so well. We had a minister here in Abuja, but I will tell you for free that I prefer Nyesom Wike as FCT.
Let's go for our first break. Judo Ujo, public affairs analyst. When we're back, I will continue the discussion as we talk about Governor Fubara, similar Fubara of River State, defecting from the PDP to the APC. What is the fortune of to say this forum should be ashamed of himself, because in his tenure as chairman, a lot of governors have been leaving. We've seen Governor Omoino of Akwa Ibom State, he's left, right? We've seen the Delta State governor, Sheriff, he left the PDP. We've seen Governor Peter Amba, he's left the PDP. And now we are seeing Governor Similaye Fubara leaving to host breaking this down for us bit by bit. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you. Join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi.
You know how we do it on Teacher Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss. And of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Men can rise beyond traditional boundaries to to claim their rightful place as
very numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Festival is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
World leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria. I have
to
a guest.
Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
Top Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV Channel 365, on Star Times Channel 276.
A very good evening. Welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria. Tonight on the show, we're looking at national politics, Fubara's defection to the APC. And we have joining us to help make sense of the discussion, Jide Ojo, who is a columnist. He is a writer, development consultant, and he's done a lot of work around our democracy as we discuss this. Jide, thank you so much for staying with us. Do you think that Fubara moving to the APC is giving signal to a one-party state? In fact, there's this discussion around town that the APC is muzzling opposition to join them, and Nigeria is gradually becoming a one-party state. We've seen a lot of governors, I mentioned, the governor of Akwa Ibom moved from the PDP. We've seen Governor Peter Mbah just the other day moved. We've seen Governor Sheriff from Delta move, and Governor Adeleke today has moved to Accord Party from information getting to us. Is Nigeria gradually becoming a one-party state with no serious opposition party?
People misconstrue the word one-party state. When people discuss one-party state, they tend to believe it means only one political party is in that country, which is wrong. It's a misconception. I have written about this in my column in the Punch newspaper, and I gave credible examples. Even yesterday, I granted an interview where I also explained this. Now, Nigeria has been, in the main, particularly this year, 2025, a de facto one-party state, but a de jure multi-party state. Now, let me break it down. De jure means by law. By law, we are a multi-party state, so we are 19 registered political parties. That number may even change in the coming days. I can bet you that before the end of this month, there is likelihood that INEC will register additional 8 political parties that have been pre-qualified from the 172 applications that were received from different political associations. And that will remain so. You have one dominant party and other parties. So it's like when we used to jibe our schools that it's my school and others. My school and others. I finished from University of Lagos. So we used to say Unilag and others. Does that mean it's only one university that exists? No. Does it mean two? No. It means it's a thing of pride to say we are the dominant university. People will say Uniport and others. People will say BU and others, Unijos and others. Now, this is it. If you look globally, and I'll give you 5 different countries. In US, and I've been to US in 2010, US, people think as is a two-party state. So they will say, if you ask somebody who is not very well informed about the political system in US, they will say only 2 political parties exist in US. So they will tell you the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. But that was a fallacy. There are over 100 political parties, independent senator. He was formerly in a Democratic Party, but he chose to leave Democratic Party and become an independent. Now, there are over 100 political parties operating at different levels, county, state level, even at the federal level. But people only talk about Democratic and the Democrats and the Republican. They talk about red state and the blue state, the Conservative and the Labour Party. That's what people talk about in UK, Conservative and Labour Party. But they forgot that there's a party called Liberal Democrat Party and several other parties. In fact, if you do a Google check, you'll see that there are at least 8 political parties operating in United Kingdom. But people talk about the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. In Ghana here, since 1992, when Ghana has its own current constitution, power has been oscillating between NPP and NDC. NPP is National Patriotic Party and NDC National Democratic Coalition something. It's these 2 parties that have been producing the president of Ghana since 1992. But there are, in the last election, they contested, about 12 political parties contested that election. So there are 2 dominant political parties in Ghana, but that doesn't mean that there are 2 party states. So when people use the word Nigeria has turned to one-party state, they are talking about one dominant political parties. It will never get to a point that no other party will exist in Nigeria. But we are talking about party that have dominance, that have spread. And you give it to APC. APC today has about 26 governors under Islam. Even the Ademola Adeleke that defected to Accord Party this evening had wanted to move to APC, but was rebuffed. There was a pushback about 4 months ago. He would have since joined APC ahead of even Peter Mba. But I follow politics in Osun. It's my hometown. It's my home state, rather. So I know for sure that Ademola Adeleke would have joined APC after the meeting with the president during the Salah break in Lagos. Himself and his elder brother, Deji Adeleke, Davido Swada, met with the president during that Salah break. And shortly after, there were rumors of his impending defection to APC. But the people in APC will not hear of it. They don't want him. And that was why he had to beat his time till today when he officially defected to Accord Party. So today, there are still 5 political parties that have produced governor in Nigeria. Don't forget that apart from APC, that now has 26 parties, there is still, and now the dynamics have even changed. Accord Party that didn't produce a governor before now has a governor. Accord now has a governor in Ademola Adeleke. So you are talking of APC having 26 governors, Accord Party 1, Labour Party 1, ABGA 1, NNPP.
Can you still hear me? All right, so I think we're having a little bit of network hitch there. We've been speaking to Jide Ojo. Jide is a columnist, is a public affairs analyst, a development consultant, and somebody who's done a lot of work around Nigeria's democracy. As we look at the governor of Rivers State, Governor Similaye Fubara, who's moved from the PDP to the APC at this time, and we can confirm that to you. All right, so let's bring you a video of Governor Fubara, who was speaking earlier today, as we try to end the show now.
Hello.
I know you'll be expecting to hear from me, and more especially in this meeting that I have to arrange so urgently. But the meeting is going to end in a very sweet information. You are aware that I went to see Mr. President yesterday, and the reason why I went for that visit is not just a personal visit, but a state interest consultation. I don't want to make any mistake this time around that anyone is laying for us. So I was with Mr. President yesterday to brief him on the situation of things in our state, which
For still staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues. We have joining us an international political correspondent and public affairs analyst who's joined us as we talk about national politics and Fubara's defection to the APC. Uncle Jide, as we end the program now, I'd like to ask you, what do you see for Rivers in the future? I know you are not a fortune teller, or you are not you don't see visions, but as looking at patterns and as a political analyst, do you see peace? Do you see stability? Do you see Fubara returning as the governor for second term? We have just 2 minutes to round up the show.
Is put and doesn't want to upset the apple cart. Don't forget what led to the trouble he had with his godfather, Nyesom Wike, was because of his attempt to usurp the political structure that brought him to power. I think he was trying to do that too soon. And if he has learned any lessons in the last 6 months for which he was suspended, he should know that you cannot outshine your principal. As you pointed out in the background to this discussion, Nyesom Wike made him whom he has become, from being accountant at Obia local government, I guess, to becoming, to rising through the ranks and becoming the Accountant General of Rivers State, even in his early 40s, or let's say in his mid-40s, because he just clocked 50 this year, or was it last year? So, and of course, it was Nyesom Wike that spent all the resources with which he became the governor of Rivers State, superintending over 23 local governments and millions of people. So if he plays his ball right, I think Nyesom Wike will still back him for second term, but this will be a test of his loyalty, because Nyesom Wike still remains in PDP. It's a strategic move for him to remain enough. He's obedient enough. Is obedient to the fullest. His loyalty is no longer in doubt. He may get endorsement of Nyesom Wike and President Bola Tinubu, and that means he may return as governor in 2027. But if his loyalty is in doubt and the State House of Assembly, even though the Assembly has gone on recess till January next year, it's like 3 months after his reinstatement. He was reinstated in September. I should think that the issue about nomination I should think that the issue about nomination of commissioners will have been
done time of your busy schedule to speak to us about Fubara's defection to the APC. It's always a pleasure when we have these discussions with you. We wish you all of the best. Thank you so much for speaking to us tonight.
Also, my own pleasure too.
Amazing.
Keep safe and stay blessed.
All right, and that's the size of our program for tonight. Remember that Big Talk returns every weekday on this particular channel. And love Nigeria, I'll be a patriotic citizen. My name is Ubongo Sori in Abuja, and I'm saying bye for now.